Hey guys, Joe here, welcome to another Dragon Ball FighterZ video, and welcome back to my patch 1.40/1.41/1.42 review. Today we'll be taking a look at the changes Tien Shinhan has received, or Tien Shinhan, depending on where you live. This is another one of my favorite characters to play in the game, and I've got a lot of thoughts on the changes he's received, so without further ado, let's check it out. The first change we're going to look at is to the last part of Tien's auto combo, which is a multi-hit and is now safer on block. -4, which is interesting. And while you can't really make too much out of this, there are some things you can do, such as... So, you have that to make yourself plus. You have that to keep yourself safe. You've got that for left-right mix. So there's that. But outside of that, there's not really many other applications for this. But overall, it's okay. Nothing too crazy. Just okay. The next change is to JS, which now allows you to do this, which is a really nice confirm for Tien. And now you could just whiff the JS, so you won't have to connect the Ki Blast before doing the Dodan Ray. So as you can see, I'm whiffing the Ki Blast and I'm still able to hit. Before you couldn't do that, but now you can. So an already strong confirmed for Tien is now just a little bit better because now you can, mix it up, which is nice. The next change to look at is to every version of Crane Strike, which now has a faster startup, specifically for the ground versions. The light version has a 23 frame startup. The medium version has a 25 frame startup, and the EX or heavy version has a 22 frame startup. This is going to be really good for Tien because the Crane Strike is one of his best combo enders and one of his best pressure options, and even one of his best mix-up options, so now they're just faster, which is pretty nice. And again, they're going to be really good as combo enders because, they're now much faster, so you'll be able to end combos much easier, which is nice. The next change to talk about is with the light version of Volleyball Fist, specifically the mid-air version. If you now hit the opponent on the ground with the mid-air version, here's what happens. They will now crouch down, and they will be put in a lot more hit stun, and you will come down to the ground faster, allowing you to get a combo out of it. So that's a really good change for Tien because this basically gives him another more threatening chop. And the EX chop is already extremely good. Now he just has a better, another one. And this one might be better in more situations than not because not only does it open up the opponent for a combo, but it's also much faster and it doesn't cost any bars. So you just get a free opening, which is just incredibly good. And yes, if I'm correct, you are so fucking plus, you could literally get out a medium starter if you wanted to. Probably. You get the idea. So overall, this is a really good change for Tien. It allows him to get an opening without having to spend meter, and he can still use one of his, best moves, which is his overhead, which is fantastic. However, the light version of Mid-Air Volleyball Fist isn't the only version to get changed, because the heavy version also got a change. It is now faster. It is now an 11-frame startup, which is fantastic. For a number of reasons. For starters, EX Chop is one of Tien's best moves. It's an overhead, and it's really, really good. So to have it be faster not only helps it in on block and Tien's pressure strings, but it also helps with his combo game as well, because now you can end much faster with this, which is awesome. So this is a very good change. The next change to talk about is to Telekinesis, which got 2 buffs, a faster startup and reduced delay. Not only does it now have a 33-frame startup, but now the opponent is in block stun for 33 frames, which gives Tien way more advantage, which is really good. So this is ultimately going to make Telekinesis a much better move, and of course in combos it's going to be a lot easier to take advantage of as well. So curious to see what people can make of that, if anybody chooses to. The next change to talk about is to Tri-Beam, or Kikoho, Tien's level 1, which now has greater hit stop on block. You are now 0 on block. And if that wasn't enough, you are now +2 on block if you use the multi-form. This is just... what am I supposed to say to this? I mean, let's go into the corner for a minute, right? Let's say I use that on block, and I'm 0. What do you think that implies? I can start my pressure up again. Let's say I do... I can do shit like that out of this. This option could now potentially be used as a mix-up tool. Do you see how fucking crazy that is? That's ridiculous. So the fact that Tri-Beam can allow for this is just... wow. I don't even know what to fucking say to this, honestly, but it's fascinating, and maybe there might be something to come out of this. I genuinely don't know, but who knows? Maybe something will come out of it. Maybe people could find some way to utilize this. Who knows? It's a weird change, but I'm sure if I experiment enough I could find something. The next change coming up is probably one of the dumbest changes of this patch, and I still can't believe Tien actually got this. I've got nothing else to say. I've got nothing else. Just watch this shit. Yeah, you saw that correctly. You can now do Shin Kikoho, aka Neo Tri-Beam, out of the Chaozu level 3. Farewell, Tien.
Maximum power!
This has got to be one of the most idiotic changes I've ever seen. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but yeah, Tien can now just do that You know, instead of being able to just level 1 into level 3, except now you can utilize the Chaozu level 3, you know, which would have been more preferable. Instead, we got that. And as funny as it is, it's also a stupid fucking change that really was not necessary. The next change is to Tien's B assist, which is now faster at 44 frames. So not only does it have a 44 frame startup, but it is also 40 frames on block, which is pretty good, all things considered. This is definitely going to help this assist out quite a decent bit. Would I prefer it to be a little faster, at like 40 frames, with 40 frames of block stun? Sure, but for what it's worth, I'll take what I can get. This is still a really good change though. The last change to Tien in this patch is to his C assist, which now has more block stun. 60 frames of block stun. So this is definitely going to be a bit of a better block stun assist, I guess. So a decent change overall. And with that, we have covered all of the changes for Tien in this recent patch, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, this one was kind of a mixed bag, because there were changes that Tien got that were really good, such as the grounded versions of Crane Strike getting faster startups, the light volleyball fist now making opponents crouch and allowing you to get a combo off of it, EX volleyball fist, the midair version, now getting, you know, a faster startup, and then telekinesis not only getting reduced recovery but a faster startup, which translates to the B assist getting a faster startup. Those changes were easily the best that Tien had received this patch. As for everything else, I mean, what's there to say about everything else? I mean, the C assist getting more block stun, okay. Being able to whiff JS and still be able to confirm into Dodon Ray or Dodonpa, that's okay too. That's an interesting change. This change with the auto combo having greater hit stop on guard with the last part of the auto combo, that's a very interesting change with potential, but I'll get more into that in a bit. And then there are the two worst changes out of this patch for Tien, which are to his supers. His Tri-Beam getting greater hit stop and making him plus on block. That's fucking ridiculous and extraordinarily unnecessary. Because why would you want to use a super as a mix-up option? You know what I mean? That's just ridiculous. And as for what happened with the Chaozu level 3, which now allows you to do Neo Tri-Beam or Shinkikoho afterwards, I just don't know what the fuck they were thinking with those changes, with the changes to his supers. Like, his supers, you know, were already really good for how strong they were in regards to their damage output. But now Tri-Beam is just plus on block, and Farewell Tien can now be cancelled into Neo Tri-Beam. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's just really fucking stupid. So, easily the worst changes for this character are the ones to his supers. I mean, sure, maybe there's something to the Tri-Beam change, but I haven't fucking seen it yet. And as for the Farewell Tien change, I think it should just be removed from the fucking game overall, realistically, because it's a stupid change. And instead, let Chaozu level 3 have the level 1 into level 3 and limit break change, which would be a lot better. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts on the changes. And as per usual, I've got a list of my own changes to go through, so let's get on to that. So now we've come to the last part of the video where I list off all the changes I personally would make to the character. And there's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Starting with the auto combo change, which I mentioned earlier. And as I mentioned earlier, this change is pretty good if you know, cancel out of it into either this or this, since you're still going to be safe on block, right? But that's kind of the problem. That's all you've got. So to allow the last hit of the auto combo to become a little bit more useful, there are two changes I would make. The first of which being to make it cancelable into 5H on block, and to make it cancelable into 5S on block. This would open up a lot for Tien's full auto combo being used as a pressure option, which would be pretty good for the character, I think. And speaking of 5S, there's a change I'd like to see for 5S, more specifically in this situation. Let me show you. So as you can see, I did a Ki Blast, a 5H, and then shot another Ki Blast. But as you can see, there's not really much I can do from full screen. And even in the corner, I can't convert into a 5L, nor can I convert to a 5M. I can, however, convert to a volleyball fist. I have that at my disposal at the very least, but even then, that's really all I can do, which is disappointing. Very disappointing. So that then brings up the question of what do I want to do in this regard? And the answer to that is simple. If you do 5S into 5H and then shoot the second Ki Blast, so if you do 5S and then 5H, if you do 5S again, rather than the Ki Blast doing this, instead it will cause a wall bounce that would allow you to convert off of it, either with Volleyball Fist, which is a full screen option, the medium version anyways, or you could run up and get a light or medium out and convert from there. So if you did, they would get a wall bounce, and you could either do medium Volleyball Fist or run up and do a light or medium to get the extension. That would open up Tien's combo game even further and give him something uniquely his own. The ability to do a 5S into a 5H into a 5S and then convert out of it. So let's say he does something like this. Imagine being able to convert out of that. That would be insane. Really good, but really insane. And it would, again, open up Tien's combo game to a significant degree. Next up, I want to talk about the light and medium version of Volleyball Fist, as well as the heavy version of Volleyball Fist, because this will apply to all versions, just for safekeeping. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen people do this before. Use the EX Volleyball Fist extender, and then cancel out of it, and then combo out of it. Right? Well, fun fact actually, the EX version is the EX the heavy extender. So there's 3 hits. There's the light, medium, there's the starter, the extender, and then the finisher. I'll call them. If you do the light or medium starter and then go into a heavy extender, you can cancel out of it to continue the combo, which is really crazy. And in addition to that, it also preserves your super dash. So even though you could do this with the EX extender, you can't do it with the light or medium extender. Right? You can't do it with the light extender. And you can't do it with the medium extender. So what I would like to see done is for the light, medium, and heavy versions to have an easier means of canceling the final input of Volleyball Fist. So if you did a light extender, a medium extender, or even a heavy extender, inputting forward would allow you to cancel the final hit so that you could then convert out of the extender with a regular air combo. That's kind of what I want to see with the Volleyball Fist, because I think having Tien only be able to do that out of his EX Volleyball Fist extender, I think only having that be available to cancel out of, I think it's been long enough to where the other two should be able to do that as well. So let the light and medium extenders have the ability to be canceled out of into a combo, the same as the EX extender. That's all I'd ask for. The next change I would like to see is for the heavy version of Crane Strike, the grounded version. And what I would like to see for this is a adjusted height on the ground bounce, as well as having the opponent be in more frames of hit stun. This way, you can convert out of the EX version of Crane Strike. And I do mean genuinely combo out of it, not just in sparking. And as for in the corner, you can't even convert out of it there. So having EX Crane Strike have a greater ground bounce with greater stun time would definitely help with that. The next change I would like to see is to Tien's A assist, because as it currently stands, Tien's A assist looks like this. It is a frame 29 startup, and while the hit stun is solid, I definitely think having another 10 frames of hit stun would definitely help. And in addition to that, the block stun. 20 frames of block stun is pretty pitiful, so I think giving it the same amount of block stun as B assist would definitely make it a little bit better. Or even just have it at 30 or 35 frames of block stun. Even that would be more than fine. But I think giving it more block stun would definitely help. So, in conclusion, I think the startup should be reduced from 29 frames to 25. The block stun should be increased from 20 frames to 40, or 30, or 35, and the hit stun should be increased by 10 frames. Now, as for B assist, B assist's block stun is pretty good, all things considered. As for the assist itself, there is definitely something I would like to see done with this assist, and it's something similar with to Frieza's B assist. So you know how with Frieza's B assist, if you hold down and back, you can slow down the projectile? Well, I want something akin to that for Tien, except instead of slowing down Chaozu's startup, I would instead have it do this. Yeah. So, Tien is now capable, after patch 1.38, of calling Chaozu, then canceling the call, and then immediately converting out of it with whatever option he has on hand. And what I would like to see is if you hold down and back with B assist, Tien will do this and throw out both Ki Blasts. This would ultimately make Tien's B assist a solid mix-up assist and would make it far more interesting than it currently is, allowing you to mix up whether you do this or whether you do this. So that would be really cool to see. And with that, that's all I've got for Tien. So that basically covers everything, and that pretty much does it for this video. So Next time, we'll be talking about Adult Gohan and the changes he received. But until then, don't do anything stupid, please, and take very good care of yourselves. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.